JD Vance has been missing in action for weeks. No comments, no appearances, no loyalty oaths for Trump, and then suddenly his motorcade crashes. Interesting timing, right? While Trump's administration melts down under the weight of 20,000 newly released Epstein documents, Vance has gone silent. This is a man who normally tweets like he's paid by the argument, yet now, nothing. No defense of Trump, no denial, not even a half-hearted distraction. Just quiet. Too quiet.
Governor Newsom tonight telling the White House, "I told you so," after the CHP said an artillery round exploded prematurely during a military tribute yesterday.
And CBS LA political reporter Tom Waite here now with new photos and the fallout. Tom?
Yeah, I mean, there was a big back and forth between Governor Newsom, the White House, and other people in the GOP saying that Newsom was just doing this for political reasons. And now tonight Newsom can say, well, you know, here's artillery that landed on the freeway. So, yeah, it was a chaotic few days leading up to this tribute at Camp Pendleton. Governor Newsom blasted the White House for having this tribute, saying firing artillery over the 5 freeway would be dangerous. The White House scoffed at Newsom and held the tribute anyway. Tonight, we're learning things did not go as planned. Newly released photos of 2 pieces of shrapnel the CHP says landed on or near their vehicles along I-5 near Camp Pendleton in the area where Governor Newsom ordered the freeway shut down. The CHP says the debris came from an explosive ordnance that detonated prematurely while it was over the freeway, striking and damaging a CHP patrol vehicle. One trooper said it sounded like pebbles falling. Governor Newsom posted this photo of what the artillery round looks like, saying it was no small thing. No injuries were reported, and the CHP says they immediately notified the Marine Corps at the scene, who then canceled firing additional live ammunition over the freeway.
But I think some of this is just who he is, and his natural instincts is he has better instincts about human beings than anybody that I've ever met. And again, the President of the United States, you think about this, you can't read every briefing and every detail about every single topic. 100 different things are coming into the Oval Office every hour, right? So part of it is you've got to be able to trust the people around you to delegate and to execute. But to have that trust for people, you've got to have very, very good instincts. And the president has an amazing ability to know when somebody's trying to get something over on him, when somebody's actually thinking about things in the best interest of the country. It's almost a supernatural ability to read human beings. And I've tried to learn as much as I can about it. And again, some of that is just his innate ability. Some of that is something that I think that you can pick up. And I've tried to pick that up as much as I can.
Today, ProPublica published quite a scoop about Trump DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, that in any other era, I should say, would be a career-ending scandal. But to understand the pattern of corruption of this woman, we just have to zoom out just a little bit, just for a moment. Because since Noem took over DHS at the beginning of the year, she's become known for appearing to be more obsessed with putting on various costumes than doing her actual job. I mean, she donned a bulletproof vest just to talk to her own agents. She wore a Customs and Border Patrol uniform on Fox News. And of course, she is constantly, and I mean constantly, throwing on a cowboy hat and riding horses, always with plenty of cameras around to capture the moment. But Noem's apparent obsession with image actually goes much further than just putting on costumes, because she has directed more than 200 million taxpayer dollars into TV ads to promote her work at DHS. And just to put it in context, that is nearly twice what DHS spent on ads altogether in all of last year. And the content of those ads have already been a scandal kind of in and of themselves.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for securing our border.
And if you were wondering who exactly the target audience is for that, DHS spent $30,000 to run that ad, the one I just showed you, specifically in the ad market where Mar-a-Lago is. Now, as much as spending tens of thousands of dollars to make sure your ad plays on the TV near the president is a bizarre waste of taxpayer money, $30,000, it turns out, is a drop in the bucket compared to the more than $200 million DHS has spent this year making and airing ads. And the rest of that money is where the story gets truly bonkers. I mean, since March, we have known that DHS skipped the normal competitive bidding process when giving out the contracts to make and air these ads. DHS claimed that because Trump declared an emergency at the southern border, they didn't have to waste time getting competitive bids. And that brings me to the first part of ProPublica's big scoop today. Because it turns out that the majority of that no-bid contract money, 143 million taxpayer dollars, went to this kind of mysterious LLC in Delaware. An LLC that was created just days before it got that no-bid contract, just days. And the man who owns the home that LLC lists as its address did not respond to ProPublica's questions. Now, when asked why the agency chose that LLC, DHS said, quote, "The results speak for themselves," and then proceeded to claim that Trump has made the border the most secure it has been in American history. Not exactly answering the question. So DHS gave a $143 million no-bid contract to a brand new LLC that no one seems to know anything about. That is obviously a scandal enough to begin with. Then there's this. This is an ad Kristi Noem shot on October 2nd, which, by the way, was the second day of the government shutdown. So while hundreds of thousands of federal workers went without pay, including the nearly 50,000 TSA workers that work under Noem donned a cowboy hat and had a production company film her riding horseback with buffalo. And whether or not you care about the very weird content of the ad, you should care about who made it. Because according to ProPublica's new reporting, that ad was made by a company called Strategy Group, which is run by a man who is not only the husband of Noem's chief DHS spokesperson, Tricia McLaughlin, yes, she's a something, but also has personal and business ties to Noem herself.
And that silence stands out because the last time Vance's security detail made headlines, Trump and his crew were busy literally dropping artillery over a California freeway to impress themselves with a military stunt and explosion so sloppy it showered shrapnel onto police vehicles. But Vance still went on TV praising Trump's supernatural instincts, even though those instincts nearly blew him up. Now, with Epstein revelations tightening around Trumpworld and MAGA allies jumping ship, Vance's motorcade mysteriously crashes, leaving a police officer critically injured. No public statement from Vance. No denial. No explanation. Just more silence. And when silence surrounds an administration already drowning in corruption, from senators trying to cash out to DHS chiefs, funneling millions in no-bid contracts to friendly LLCs and family businesses, it stops looking like coincidence and starts looking like panic. Trumpworld isn't just imploding, it's turning on itself. The louder the scandals get, the quieter JD Vance becomes. And in an administration built on stunts, secrecy, and self-preservation, that kind of quiet is the loudest alarm of all.